the oceans are among the most unexplored regions of any place on the planet, because we don't know what lies beneath the surface far down. However, on Gliese 1214b, that is a completely different case. On this water world, 48 light years away from us, in the constellation of Ophiuchus, lurks a colossal terror that is unlike any other monster that we know of in our folklore and mythology. But this monster is way different than you think, and I mean completely different. This colossal monster that haunts the waters of Gliese 1214b. In this Halloween special, we are returning to the water world, traveling 48 light years away from Earth to meet this colossal monster that hides in the void on the water world. We are going to be meeting the one and only, the Gargantuan Leviathan. This is Subnautica, Return of the Ancient King. Down in the Lost River lies the remains of an ancient sea monster that once terrorized the planet. Bigger than any other creature that we know of at all in life. But this creature, believe it or not, of what people was once thought to have been long gone, now is making a comeback and has been brought back to life. And in this, we are about to meet it for the very, very first time ever. Stretching at 5 kilometers, or 5,000 meters, or over 16,000 feet in length, the Gargantuan Leviathan is truly the stuff of nightmares. And And as you're seeing in this video, which was filmed and uploaded by Anthomnia, he has gotten a first glimpse of the monster in all its glory. Now this is the adult that we're looking at. The adult of which is what the skeleton in the Lost River is when you first go down there and see the skull. This is the owner of that giant skeleton that's in the Lost River. It belongs to this thing, the Gargantuan Leviathan. At such an enormous size, a creature like this needs a huge supply of food to sustain itself, as well as a ton of room to move its enormous body around. Because if you can imagine, a creature of this size would need as much space and food to keep itself alive, because otherwise it would die. And that sound is a sound that would terrify you while you're in the water. That sound would terrify the hell out of you, to the point of where you will never ever want to go back in the water again. But rest assured, as far as we know, nothing like this exists on our planet. At least as far as we know, of course. After hearing that sound, you would be frozen in fear, to the point of where you can't move. Except you can look up, down, left, right, in front, and behind you. But when this thing comes into view, your heart stops, and you are completely frozen in fear. You are paralyzed with fear, to the point of where you just watch as this colossal behemoth circles around you, checking you out. But then when it decides to try to take a bite out of you, there is nothing you can do. This creature will eat pretty much anything that it comes across. But due to its immense size, it needs the biggest amount of space it needs to move its enormously long body around, to the point of where it won't drown. Because if it does, it won't make it for the rest of its life. However, what people don't know about this creature is that this creature is the work of a modding community for Subnautica called Architects of the Unknown. They have brought this creature back to life based on the skeleton that's in the Lost River. So what they did is that based on the skeleton, they basically use CGI as well as all that to draw and use computers to completely detail the creature to make it look like what it may have looked like when it was alive, and when that skeleton that's in the Lost River was like back when it was alive. And this was their final product. But however, this creature is still a work in progress. But the biggest question that people are asking about this creature is, what's its life cycle like? How is this creature born? Where does it come from? How does it grow up? Where exactly does it come from after birth? And more importantly, how do they mate? how do they have eggs? Well, unfortunately, we don't have a lot of answers to those questions. Actually, we don't have any answers to any of those questions at all. So all we can do is guess and make hypotheses of all that. Whatever the case is, all that we have to do is wait and see what they will drop in terms of information on the life cycle of this colossal behemoth, which will haunt those that dare step into the waters with this creature in their game. When this next update came out, the Gargantuan Leviathan was seen in all its glory. And as you're seeing here, by YouTuber Anthomnia, using the power of mods, he got to see this creature and its entire body in all its glory. Very well detailed. The bones, the veins, the fin parts on the body, it is all super well detailed, and the Cyclops looks tiny compared to this creature. But the biggest part of it is the mapping of the skull on the creature. You name it. The eyes, the tentacles on the back of the head, the things on the front of the head, the scales, the horns, it's all mapped into the creature. It took them nearly an entire year to completely bring this creature to life and fully detail it. And as you just saw there, thanks to another of the new updates, the creature's roar now shakes your screen and makes you, in-game, afraid. So what I'm guessing is going to happen is that once this mod is done, whenever you hear the Gargantuan Leviathan's roar, depending on if you're far away from it or close to it, whenever it roars, it will damage your health with fear. And as you're seeing right there, that is my best guess on what the screen shaking is all about. He tries to scan it, but doesn't really get a good spot to actually scan the creature. But then, once he has increased the brightness, as the creature turns around, he gets to see this monster in all its glory. Look at that. This creature is so huge that its body expands far beyond the visual point to where it'll despawn if you get too far away from it. That's how huge this creature's body really is. Next to the Cyclops, this thing looks like it can just swallow the Cyclops whole in one go. But compared to other creatures here on Earth, like the blue whale, the Gargantuan Leviathan dwarfs it. And its head is absolutely huge. And as you're seeing here, the Cyclops can fit under its skin comfortably, like one of those microchips that you get for your pets. So the Cyclops can hide under its skin perfectly comfortable to the point of where it's basically concealed. But compared to other creatures on Earth, the Garg dwarfs them all. However, when the big new update came out, the Gargantuan Leviathan was updated yet again. What exactly was updated? Well, as you're about to see here, it has been completely changed. And never mind that little device that Anthomnia there is using. Never mind that little doohickey. The main focus of this is the creature. And as you can see there, its eyes were also updated, to the point of where they look much more realistic and alive. Now this update is one that people have been waiting for. The Gargantuan Leviathan now has an eating animation. So as you just saw there, what it does is that it grabs hold of its prey, shakes it around in its mouth like a terrier shaking a rat. And once it does that, down it goes. Slurps it up like a piece of spaghetti. So yeah, this creature can now swallow smaller leviathans that are in the game. And yes, including the sea dragon. Which the sea dragon, normally the most feared creature in the game, now is food for this colossal behemoth. And yes, that also goes for the Reaper Leviathan, which the Reaper Leviathan, once being the apex predator of Subnautica, now is food for the apex super predator of Subnautica, that being the Gargantuan Leviathan. So now, y'all won't have to worry about the smaller Leviathans anymore. Yeah, I know what you're thinking here. What in the hell is that? Is that a baby Gargantuan Leviathan? Well, yes, it is. But this, however, is not Anthomnia playing this game. He's actually talking to one of the mod developers who is showing video of him playing with this little guy. So the idea is that this little guy, this little cutie, or well, if you can call it that, is gonna be obtainable to the point of where you can grow it in your aquarium if you can somehow make enough space for it, to the point of where you can now have it essentially like a cuttlefish, which you can find throughout the game. But this little guy, he's gonna be chasing all of the little fish that swim around in the safe shallows. Now, unlike the cuttlefish, this little guy is one day gonna grow up to become the biggest sea monster of all time. But however, this is something that they haven't really shared much in the game. Because, well, yeah. When you grab it, you hold it by its head, like how people hold venomous snakes. But then when you let it go, yeah. Its body just glitches out, and it starts, yeah. It starts rocketing itself all over the place. So, yeah, the animations for it are still in the works. But don't worry, this little guy has potential to be your best little friend. Now, will this little guy? But, yeah, when you let it go, that's what happens. I'm not really, you could say that's cruelty, but then again, it is still a work in progress, so, yeah. That's what you need to expect from a mod like this. Because no mod that's like this is easy to do. Because this mod is going to take a long time before it's done. When is it going to be done? I will tell you that later. But will this little guy be able to take on the, say, sand sharks, bone sharks, and stalkers? I'm actually not sure. But it would be cool if it did stand a chance against them, and if it would, say, fight them off. But overall, the baby Gargantuan Leviathan, to me, is going to be the biggest surprise in this mod. And I cannot wait to see what they will do with this little guy. If you can even call it a little cutie, which to those who do, mad respect to you. But, yeah, it's still a work in progress, so, yeah, its animations are really buggy. But like I said, it's still a work in progress, so, yeah. Then, the major update came out. Both the juvenile and the adult Gargantuan Leviathan have finally gotten fully detailed bodies. Because as you're seeing here, these are little scale models of the adult and juvenile Gargantuan Leviathan. And as you can see, the entire body, including the teeth, the eyes, and yes, even the bones and organs, are fully detailed. And now, here he is, in all of his gargantuan glory. Look at that, fully detailed now. He was once green, but now he is back to his old blue color. It's like oceanic blue or something. And yes, even the eyes have been changed. They are now yellow with some white, and not completely yellow like before. And its teeth have also been majorly updated. Look at all that teeth. Those are some shiny ass teeth if you ask me. But yeah, that little frill, I'm not sure if it's supposed to be part of the creature, but it would be nice if it actually had a frill. But however, its eating animations have been updated as well. And as you're about to see here, this is what they have done to the eating animation in terms of updates. It still shakes its head around a little bit, and it still munches down on them, except that it softens them up to the point, well, to the point of where they can go down more easily. It's kind of like how you, and yes, what I'm thinking is that it's also going to have a death roll animation. Because imagine a colossal Leviathan like this doing a death roll to consume its prey. That would be badass. Steve Irwin would be tickled. But overall, the Gargantuan Leviathan is slowly getting closer to reaching its full potential, to being the king of all Leviathans, just like it was on the planet in-game for, well, actually 3 million years ago. And only time will tell when it'll be complete. This last bit is just an idea, and as you can see, once the sunbeam gets shot down by the gun, the Gargantuan Leviathan leaps out of the water and snatches up the sunbeam and takes it back down into the depths. But this is still a work in progress. But overall, it would be awesome to see this thing just leap out of the water like a great white shark coming up from underneath the seal and snatching the sunbeam out of the sky as it gets shot down and bringing it back down to the depths. As well as the change in the voice acting, this is just an idea for the future of this mod. After starting out as just only the juvenile, the Gargantuan Leviathan has slowly developed into a more detailed creature of which we know of, thanks to the architects of the unknown that are working on this mod. They are working to bring the colossal skeleton in the Lost River back to life. And then when the adult Gargantuan Leviathan came out with this update, before it became the mod, which is going to be called Return of the Ancients. This mod is going to add a lot more storyline and lore to the game, as well as more creatures, more voice acting, and this is the main star of the mod, the Gargantuan Leviathan. However, they are not done with this mod. They have plenty of plans for the future of the Gargantuan Leviathan. But of course, the biggest part of this creature that people are waiting for is the process of its life cycle. So what I'm guessing is that the Gargantuan Leviathan lays eggs in the void, of which the eggs then float up to the point of where, depending on if they have instinct or not, they will learn to avoid being eaten by the smaller leviathans, such as the ghost leviathans that live in the dead zone, while at the same time learning to avoid being eaten by the adults. So therefore, they go into the safe shallows where they start feeding on these smaller fish that live there. And then once they become juveniles, they start roaming the areas in front and behind the Aurora, as well as the Gun Island, to the point of where they grow up into this 16,000 foot long or 5,000 meter long behemoth that will be haunting the dead zone for many years to come once the Return of the Ancients is complete. And my best guess on when this mod will be coming out, somewhere either around the beginning to around the middle of next year, say in like May or June, or maybe even March and April is when this mod will come out in its full glory, and when people will be daring to meet this colossal monster in the dead zone and testing their bravery and their thalassophobia to the point of where they will dare take on the king of all Leviathans, the Gargantuan Leviathan. So move over, Sea Dragon. There is a new king that has arrived and is going to challenge you. Over the years of Subnautica's history, people thought there was no other creature bigger than the sea dragon and the reefbacks, but turns out they were wrong. And thanks to the architects of the unknown, the Gargantuan Leviathan is gonna be dwarfing them all, and is gonna rule Glee's 1214B. So take everything of what I just said in this video, perhaps with a grain of salt, yes, but just imagine of what it would be like to see such a colossal creature that is bigger than anything else that we know of here on Earth. And just imagine what it would be like to dive with the Garg.